Welcome back to Cape Media News. I'm Emily Tullock. Today we have Chris of New Latitude Consulting, and he's here to discuss the importance of nonprofits on Cape Cod with their donor development and fundraising goals, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Chris, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Emily. Thanks for having me. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. So let's just get into it. Can you tell us what the mission of New Latitude Consulting is?
New Latitude Consulting is geared towards really supporting not-for-profits in the region and beyond the region who are struggling with ideas, concepts, and reimagining how to approach their development goals. A lot of organizations are struggling. They're tabling a lot of their calendared events right now because they don't know how to move forward. And in some cases, there are organizations that can afford to circle the wagons because they've got an endowment they can draw on. But in a lot of cases, there are organizations out there that are trying to figure out just how to keep the lights on. And by not having their events and not moving forward with their donation campaigns, they're really facing some struggles down the road.
And so how do you think it's affecting the Cape region specifically, because we have so many nonprofits here?
Summertime is a huge time for any not-for-profit, especially here on Cape Cod. This is the time when your summer donors, your summer programming really kicks in because your summer donors are here visiting. They're visiting their summer homes. They're going to garden parties. They're going to big tent events. They're going to major fundraisers. They're writing large checks. And this year, all of that had to be pushed aside. And a lot of organizations are struggling. Well, how do we get people to invest and to donate to our cause when we don't have programming to support that? We don't have a reason to get them together. I think one of the realities of fundraising is that it's not just an altruistic thing. It's not just a reason to write a check. It's an opportunity to engage. It's an opportunity to feel like you're part of something, to feel like you're part of the community. And when you take that off the table, all you have really is a fundraising campaign and the hope that you're going to receive some checks. And for some people that might not be enough of an enticement for them.
And so what's the response been like to the nonprofits that you've worked with? And if any are out there watching right now and need your help, like what's the best way to contact you?
Well, the best way to find me would be through Facebook. You can find me at New Latitude. I have a website, but it's under development. But if you were to go to Facebook and look up New Latitude Consulting, you'll see our page. You'll see some of the services that we offer. In terms of what we are offering and the interactions that I've had with some non-for-profits that I'm already working with, a lot of them are really struggling with ideas and concepts. And I'm finding that is the struggle that most of the non-for-profits are working with right now. For larger organizations, they have development teams that have been in place for years, and they're used to pulling the levers and pushing the buttons and executing excellent events, but they're not necessarily geared towards pivoting or recreating those events or reimagining those events. In other cases, there are organizations that have had paid staff that they've had to let go, or they have volunteer teams who are very good at following the directions and setting up some of these events, but are not really sure how to develop a new approach. And that's sort of where I come in. That's sort of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring ideas and fresh approaches to these perspectives. I've found that when working with not-for-profits, one of the most important things to do is identify what their major event is. What is it they're trying to do? Is it a big tent garden party? Is it a brunch, for example, that one of my customers was developing? The most important thing is to try and reimagine your approaches, try and reinvigorate and make sure that you are distinguishing yourself from the pack. And one of the things that I will often tell people who are the heads of development teams, if you're running a development team, if you're running a fundraising campaign, if you're running something like that, don't put all the pressure on yourself. Find the creative people to work with. Find the creative people on your team, do some outreach and recruit some creative people from the community. Hire a service that offers that sort of thing. Your job as a leader is to lead. It is not necessarily to come up with all the best ideas and to be the most creative. And right now it is so important for people to be able to understand their specific roles in these organizations, because with everything coming at you, the noise can just be deafening.
Yeah, you're so right. And right now we are in such a time where we need to focus on pivoting rather than just canceling and not having these fundraising events that so many nonprofits are reliant on. It's instead, let's figure out a way to do it differently and in a safe way. So that's really cool to hear that you are doing for our nonprofits. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. I'm glad to do it and glad to be of service.
Well, you have a wonderful day and best of luck on your new business.
Thanks, Emily. You as well. Have a wonderful day and enjoy this weather and stay safe and wash your hands.
Thank you so much. For Cape Media News, I'm Emily Tullock.